Christmas music has been done so many different ways for so many different years, and it's often hard to try to come up with different ideas. So I thought to enter the Spitfire Audio Christmas contest, I thought I'd take one of my favorite Christmas songs and try to turn it on its head. So we've modulated it to a minor key and tried to give it a kind of an epic cinematic treatment and to try to do something different. So let's get right to it. So here's our project. All right, we got 14 tracks, and it was kind of fun because I like getting very detailed instructions, parameters of a project. For me, it's much easier to work within the confines of some kind of specific thing. So when you're writing like library music, often that's hard because it's just a constant guessing game. In this case, we know that it's got to be Christmas tune, either older, pre-existing or original, and it's going to be under 60 seconds. And to me, it gives you a very specific direction to go in, and I find that you can get things done much faster. So the first thing I did was I sketched out the piano melody. Okay, so this is the only track that is not a Spitfire sound. This is of course the old Noir library. What else is new? If you're watching this channel, that's what I do. Very, very just, didn't mess around with it too much. Brought the reverb down a little bit. So what I did was I sketched out the melody first because I knew what song I wanted to do, but I also knew that I wanted to change it. Okay, so that's kind of what this is all about, is kind of taking an older song that people know really well and hopefully trying to do something different with it. So check out a little bit of that because that's the first track that I started with. Okay, this is a very, very basic one-note melody, but what I've done is I've taken it out of its happy, schmappy, Christmassy major key, and I've moved it into a minor key, which I like doing. It's very, very neat. And so then let's go back through and actually maybe I'll continue with the melody sound, the melodic sound, because that's kind of what came first. So just on its own, I felt that it was getting buried and lost in the mix a little bit. So what I did was I went to the I'm having a whole lot of fun with Aperture Stack, by the way. It's funny, when I first got into it, it was kind of like, yeah, I like it, but I don't know if I loved it. And now it's like, oh man, for adding textures and like thunder and its intensity, this library is great. So this is from the guitars. This is the long patch, and I literally just copied and pasted, and I mixed the piano a little bit, pan soft left, and then guitar soft right, and then I layered it on top. Exact same part, heavy reverb, because it's not the main part. The piano is kind of the initial attack, and then the guitar kind of handles the reverb, something different. And then I still was like, man, I need to get something else in there. So we went into Solstice. Again, I'm having a whole lot of fun with this. Just completely different library, just night and day. If you want something that's usable in almost all kind of occasions, then you need like an Albion 1, which you can use almost in everything. But if you want something just off the beaten path, different, niche, Solstice, there's some incredible stuff in there. I'm just trying to dig deep now. So this is buried within the kind of pads somewhere, and it's called the Never Piano. And again, I just layered that on top. So let's listen to that again, then I'll play all three of the melodic tracks. It helps if I actually started from the beginning. So now all of a sudden you have something interesting happening. So now let's hear all three of those together now. Now you have layer, you have depth, and that's what it's all about. Okay, I rolled out a little bit of the low in terms of EQ for the Solstice Never piano. There's a lot going on in that, and same thing, a little bit of the Noir stacks I left as is in terms of EQ. Okay, so now I have my melody. Now I have, and I literally played it so that I knew that I was going to be close to the 1 minute time. So I think the track stopped somewhere around there, 59 seconds, and I have a little gap at the front, so I knew it was going to be under the 60 seconds and give enough time for the reverb tail at the end. You don't want to cut that off. So I sketched out the piano first, sketch out the melody, and then once I got that down, then I have my structure, and then I add everything else afterwards. So to that I went again a whole lot of Solstice. It's almost all Solstice and Aperture Stacks. So this is from Solstice. This is the Gen Trio main techniques, and it's a spiccato. Sorry, I should move it over here so you can actually see it, because I keep forgetting my video is over there. I'm trying to do better though. Okay, so let's listen to that. One sound and you get this whole rhythm going on. It's really kind of setting the mood. So we start with that, and then we bring into that. Now we're going back to the stack, and we have the synths, the wall, and this is called Stuck at 10. Okay, and of course there's always, tweaking, all the individual settings and all that kind of stuff. I think, was it this one that I was fooling around with? One of them I was fooling around with the noise floor, and then I found it was a little bit too distracting, so I brought it down. But let's check this out. Literally just octaves, just to give something, again, a little bit more depth. The piano we already went through, and now we got Aperture Stack. We got the guitars. This is Cloud. Probably my favorite patch in this whole library. It's just madness. If you're wanting to add crescendos and big moments, building tension, you're gonna have a hard time finding a patch that's better than this. So let's check this out. And this is towards the end, so I think I brought it in here. You can see a little bit of the just madness. That's like, what am I playing, like one note there, 2 notes, 3 notes? It's just thunderous and it's awesome. So my favorite patch. Okay, and then I went back to the stacks, and we got the synths, replicants, and pulses open 135 beats per minute. Okay, get a little bit more rhythm in there again. This is pan soft left and rolled off a little bit of the low. Try to clean it up. There's a lot going on this track, so let's try and clean it up a little bit. So just kind of sits underneath, it's just layers, a bunch of small layers, although the stack, Guitar Cloud, there's nothing small about that sound, but a lot of the other ones, you're just building. It's like a cake. Don't try to do too much with one patch. And then I was like, I got to really try to do something different here. So I went back to Solstice to the gut circle, and this is the motors. Okay, and this is just literally holding a chord. And this to me is a lot what Native Instruments does a lot with, like, their kind of their guitar libraries. What is it, Electric Sunburst, where you have a lot of they're meant to be played as kind of chords, and then they have pre-existing rhythms, and they can be very, very useful, not necessarily as the basis for a song, but adding rhythmic textures underneath. So let's check this out. could almost be the beginning of a Dave Matthews, little Dave Matthews track going on there. So that's just running throughout. And then we got some Solstice bass in there. Again, really just trying to exploit all these different sounds, play with all these different sounds. We got just the bass main techniques, and this is the staccato. Okay, and just straight up. Yeah, it's bass, but it's got a little bit of attack in there. It's not too big that it's going to eat up the entire kind of spectrum of bass and eat away the rest of the track. And it's just got a nice sharp right on the beat kind of sound. And then the accents, just playing with the accents so you can get all those accents in there, create something interesting. And then what do we have here? Oh yeah, this is just the for the stack. I used this on my last track, just like a thunderous called Only Bleed from the Machine's original kit, and just this thumping, you know, turn your sub down when you listen to this track. Here we go. So good, man. I mean, you can't. I'm probably gonna use it too much, but man, it's bad as in good. And then we got a whole lot of percussion going on here. So this is Hans Zimmer Percussion. I don't even have the upgraded Hans Zimmer Percussion library, by the way. This is like the old, you know, original edition. It's not the pro version. It's not the upgraded version. Still sounds awesome. Maybe one day I'll upgrade, but hey, this is the Boobams. All right, let's check that out. This is panned soft left because I have some more percussion that I panned soft right. So let's check this out. So as usual, when I'm doing my percussion, I'm just hit record and I try to do maybe 1 or 2 takes and that's it. And I try not to loop it as much as possible so you can get all those different accents. Try to get all the fingers in there and try to get some triplets in there while I'm playing it. And then I just quantize it to lock it right in with the rest of the track. And that's pretty much how I do my percussion. And then I was like, well, we need some taiko, right? You got to have some taiko in here. So we got the taiko ensemble, the large taiko solo. And, you know, always messing around with mic positions. I don't think I messed around with any of the dials. Sometimes I don't mess around with these too much, but sometimes I mess around with the boom. Just checking to make sure that I'm recording this because sometimes I forget to record and then I gotta start over again. So here we go. Here's some taiko. Love that sound, love it. And then I was like, you know, we need some bongos. So we got some Spitfire perk. Okay, we got a little tiny bit rolled off on the low. And what do we got here? Spitfire percussion bongo. The close and tree is pretty much even. Initially I had too much tree and it was kind of, I wanted a little bit more of the close sound, so I brought some more close sound in. So the percussion, just to clean it up a little bit, because you can go too far if you use too much of the tree or the ambient mics. You're going to get just kind of like too much, especially if you're using reverbs on the individual instruments. It's going to get to be too much. You're going to lose your kind of the precision of the percussive parts. Let's check this out. So I got a little bit of those going on. Again, it's just one part, not looped. And you know, sometimes I loop, but I try not to, so I can get all the different velocity layers and stuff going on. So that's my bongos. And then I was like, let's get one more percussive part in there. So then we went to Albion 1, which I haven't used in a while. And I think I finally updated it. I think they changed like the interface, and I guess I haven't updated it in a while. But anyway, I got the Darwin Percussion Ensemble. And just to build up a little bit at the end, you get some really big, thunderous percussion. Albion 1 probably still the most useful library in terms of covering a little bit of everything. Is it cinema in a box? Yeah, I'd say that it is. It is what Spitfire says that it is. If you're going to start anywhere, you're probably going to start with Albion 1. And this is not a string track. There's no strings going on, so a lot of times I use the octave patches. I mean, all the stuff from Albion 1 is fantastic. But okay, and EQ, nothing going on for EQ. Let's listen to this. Big, thunderous to build up to the end. And that is it, my friends. Okay, so 14 tracks. Started with the melodic line from the piano, took an old song, transposed it into a minor key, and changed it up a little bit, changed the chord progressions up a little bit just to try to do something different. And it's kind of like a haunting, kind of Christmassy sort of song. Anyway, I had lots of fun doing this, and I was able to do it really, really quickly. So let's check it out, and then we'll have some final thoughts. Here we go. So why enter in contests? Do you enter because you think you're going to win? Yeah, maybe. I don't really count on it, to be honest with you. For me, it's all about being challenged and to try to do something different, and to be able to work, like I said, within a very, very set and specific set of parameters. To me, it's just a blessing. It's just so much easier than just working blindly and hoping that something's going to stick. So I really enjoyed that part of things. And I guess at the end of the day, why are you doing it? You're doing it for practice. You're doing it to become a better composer. You're doing it because you want to do it. And it's also going to give you a little bit of exposure. So if you're like me and you have a YouTube channel or Instagram, Facebook, whatever, exposure is always a good thing. So get out there, my friends, get composing, do an entry for this contest, and who knows, hopefully one of you watching this channel will be one of the winners or finalists. Take care, my friends.